Hi there everyone, it's Mark and welcome to volume 6 of This Is How We Did It, and today it's going to be about the Ritchie family and also the year 1982. The year 1982 is important for a variety of reasons. One, it was a ridiculously massive year for tunes in general. Michael Jackson's Thriller album came out, which is obviously a bit of a game changer as regards worldwide sales of music. Evelyn Champagne King, Love Come Down. It was a crazy year. The Message, Nasty Girl by Vanity 6, which Prince produced, and Stepping Out by Joe Jackson. Basically what we're seeing at the moment is disco bands coming out of the 70s and then redefining themselves around the equipment that was available, which were things like the Oberheim DMX drum machine and the Linn LM1. So basically, I'm going to be talking about the Ritchie family, which is a record that looks like this. And as you can see, it's the era of Paco Rabanne and Manta, Opel Manta cars and wine bars and sort of neon lights and dreaming of a new world that was going to be all semi-digital, electronic, outer space experience. And this band here, the Ritchie family, they were invented by a guy called Jacques Morali, who also invented and started the Village People. And he, by the time it came around to this, he'd invited the Italian music producers Change to come and produce them. So, before I get into the track that I've made with this sample of I'll Do My Best For You, I'm going to go through a little bit through 1982 tunes, and I'm going to play very small amounts of them because, as you know, the copyright police will be hovering like helicopters above us now. So, okay, folks, this is one of my favourites by Evelyn Champagne King, who did a massive tune called Shame, which is a disco song, but when the 80s came around, she did this, and it's a beauty. Okay, that's all you're getting, right? In case they come after me, but that's a killer piece, and you can feel the emotion in this. You know, people are starting to think there's going to be a new era, a new feel to life with all this digital drum machine music. The Message by Grandmaster Flash. Key point about this tune is the engineer made this track while he was waiting for the rappers to turn up. So Grandmaster Flash didn't make this; the engineer did. Okay, Oberheim DMX drum machine, same drum machine that was used by New Order on Blue Monday. Okay, so same thing here, look. Okay, all the same sound. So you're seeing everybody now, you know, so you've got indie bands, singer-songwriters, disco people, everyone coming into the 80s here, and they're using the same equipment, these Oberheim DMXs, these Linn drums. Roger Linn would go on to make the Akai MPC 60, which of course was all the beginning of sort of dance music, swinging, DJ Premier, Masters at Work era. Okay, so Nasty Girl, Prince had a Linn drum as well. He did 1999's drums on it. Nasty Girl by Vanity 6 there, okay? And then coming on, a singer-songwriter using a drum machine as well. Stepping Out by Joe Jackson, which I think would probably be quite a lot of people's in the top 10s. Really, really beautiful song by Joe Jackson. Okay, so you've got that there, drum machine. Sorry, I'm only playing a little bit of these. That's just so it doesn't all get cut out sound-wise later. Okay, so when I was DJing in like 1987, 88, I used to love playing a track by Cheryl Lynn called Encore, and one of the reasons I used to love playing it was because that when you mixed it in, it had a really excellent drum program. It was by Jamin Lewis, who went on to do Janet Jackson and Human by the Human League. Is that it has this rising synth that leads to the bass line dropping, and if you got this mixed in the right place, it would be like an explosion in a nightclub. So I'll give you a little blast of that. Okay. Okay, that's the beginning of Encore by Cheryl Lynn. If you like DJing, get yourself 2 copies of that, or even digitally, and just play the beginning of that back to back. So that's an interesting track as well, because the end of Encore by Cheryl Lynn contains this little bit of vocal snippet. And if any of you went raving in 1990 and 94, say, there was a tune by Meat Beat Manifesto called Radio Babylon. Now see if you can recognise this is the end of Encore by Cheryl Lynn, okay? Okay, let's have a listen to Meat Beat Manifesto.
Burning with ecstasy.
I mean, that's got By the Rivers of Babylon. The mad Belgian blighters, wherever they were from anyway. The label was certainly Play It Again, Sam. So look, that's a good lead in here. So you've got these proto-jungle bass music there, sampling Cheryl Lynn from 1982 and By the Rivers of Babylon from the 70s, sort of opening up this world of the sampler. Of course, that was 1990, but the point I'm trying to make about 1982 is that you couldn't sample at that point. The drum machines had their own sounds inside of them, okay? So, moving on to the Ritchie family. They got produced by Change, who did The Glow of Love with Luther Vandross, and basically, really, I got to say, I really love Change's music. I think at the time it was a little bit too wine bar, some of it for me, but I mean, when I listen back, I actually can smell Paco Rabanne coming from somewhere. That early 80s, you know, the whole idea that people go on holiday to Ibiza and wear clothing this colour and, you know, sportswear, and the beginning of all these different casual scenes and what have you fits into that. It was the Soul Boys, and the Soul Boys, I suppose, were before all of the house music, of course, by a few years. You know, as disco died, it took a while for house to come out of that dying scene, which Larry Levan from Paradise Garage did all of that. So, okay, here we go. So, little bit of the lessons here are once again making choruses and verses out of samples, okay? And I have made a chorus using a variety of things here. So I've got Big Daddy Kane saying a swear word beginning with S. It's not too bad, so if you're under 35, turn your ears off now. And then there's also someone saying something that's like bottom, but an American expression for bottom that rhymes with TAS. Okay, so if you're a bit offended, turn your ears off now. But anyway, this is going to be the... I need to solo this, guys, so give me a second. Yeah, so this is just going to be the a cappella that I've got, and then we'll bring in the bits that I've made from this disco track. Okay, 118 BPM. So today's the time when these sessions have gone up tempo. Okay.
Oh shit!
Oh, baby, just shake that ass. Beep beep.
Gangsta boogie, gangsta boogie.
Oh, baby, just shake that ass.
Kick. Bring the kicks in.
Gangsta boogie, gangsta boogie.
You see that? You see, I know I got a good thing. Yes, I do. You see, girls, this man is not like other men.
Okay, so I need some help here. This a cappella here that I'm playing, which is a girl going on about her boyfriend and how he's nice and doesn't mess around with other women, is on an a cappella's Anonymous Volume 5, and it's called Dreaming. If anyone knows what that's off originally, please help me. On the last session, James Holroyd gave me the Peach Boys track that had been sampled by 45 King, and honestly that really meant an awful lot to me, because I think I've spent 25 years or more wondering where on earth that came from. So it's a really great feeling when it gets solved. Okay, so this track's not sounding that interesting at the moment because I'm just giving you the drums and everything. Back to the top again.
Oh shit!
Oh, baby, just shake that ass.
Gangsta boogie, gangsta boogie.
Oh, baby, just shake that ass.
Gangsta boogie, gangsta boogie.
You see that? You see, I know I got a good thing. Yes, I do.
You can hear the bass line from the Ritchie family in there, yeah?
It's not like other men.
Okay, we're going to go like...
And the reason I say this,
Get your Paco Rabanne out.
because I know every lady out there today feels the same thing. Every lady feels that her man is special. He's special to her.
Okay, so this is the sample. Okay, so that's Change. Who did a lot of work on the Atlantic label. You probably know their songs, The Glow of Love, as I've mentioned, but then also Searching with Luther Vandross. Okay, so once again, lessons in stitching together a chorus from, I've got Sweet Tea from I Got the Feeling in there. I've got Pitch Black, who is a guy who's produced in 2001 as a hip-hop artist. Bit of Big Daddy Kane. And then I've got this Dreaming a cappella, which is from, I think, the house, early house or maybe disco era. And I put it over this Ritchie family, which is produced by Change. And I suppose the points I'm trying to make is that, you know, you might see me as a hip-hop producer. I see myself as that, but I'm not a hip-hop artist because I like to make music in disco, funk, jazz, soul. I even like writing songs and what have you. And it's the attitude of hip-hop that matters, okay? So you take from anywhere to make new energy and create things that are positive, people to dance to. A lot of the vocals that I took there came on this record here, which is called Massive Scratch Volume 1. If you're a beat maker, if you ever see any of these knocking about, get them. They're just full of samples for you to use.
Are we on the air?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
You better ask somebody. You better ask somebody.
Yeah, so you can just drop in loads of stuff. It's got like every...
That's the sound of the police.
Even woo woo. There's...
That's the sound of the police.
Okay, that's it. I'm done. I'll be back next week with another one. Thanks for watching, everyone. That was the Ritchie Family 1982. Mark Ray signing out. Peace.